Hey, can you hear me? All right. We decided to stream. It's hope everybody can hear me. Um, so the Atlanta Hawks got the number one pick in the draft, and we're gonna show you why that's interesting. See what we're looking at here. Check out my blog. So the Atlanta Hawks best improbable odds to win NBA draft lottery, and this draft lottery was held in Chicago. And the last draft that Atlanta got the number one pick, I was just looking at this, and 19 hold on, 1975, the 1975 draft was the 29th annuals held. Um, let's look at this here, May 29th, and it was the 29th annual. Interesting, right? 18 teams were in the NBA at the time, and the Hawks, who had obtained the New Orleans Jazz first round pick in a trade, won the coin flip and were awarded the first overall pick in the draft in on May 29th. And so let me May 29th, 1975 is the last time they had the number one pick. 1975, and that was 49 years ago. The draft is on the 26th, right? Exactly 2,561 weeks ago. It was on a day with 38 numerology. It was the 149th day of the year, 216 left. Now they drafted David Thompson. Um, so David Thompson University was the first pick in the draft, and he went to the ABA and went to the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are the current, and so the Hawks never got their pick. It's kind of interesting. This was 1975 was 49 years ago, and in gematria, hard to believe, but draft is 49. So let's look at some other coincidences, shall we? So it was held in Chicago. They had 3% chance of getting the number one pick. 3%. They were 36 and 46 for the year. Um, here, let me go back to that. So they got the number one pick, 36 and 46. They had just a 3% chance, and this is the fifth lowest odds by a team to win the number one pick since the lottery began in 85. And of course, basketball equals 85. 85. See that? And I use the Chaldean and I use keypad cipher, just so you know. And let's get back to this here. So, and that was when Patrick Ewing of the Knicks was picked number one. Pretty sure he was. Um, Let me just look. Patrick Ewing. I could just do 1985 draft. And of course, the Knicks in the playoffs right now. Uh, NBA draft and draft. It's like a military thing, right? So the 85 draft. Yeah, you can see Ewing here. Five. was also the first NBA draft of the lottery era. It was also around this time when the league decreased, with the previous few years being up to 10 rounds. 162 players were selected over 7 rounds by the league's 23 teams. So in 75, they had 18 teams. This is before the ABA merger. And in 85, they had 23 teams. So Patrick Ewing of the Knicks, New York Knicks in the playoffs, right? Who did the Hawks get in this draft? I don't know. Look at this. The Hawks got the number fifth pick, John Koncak, Wayman Tisdale, number two. So that's who the Hawks got. And the big 33, the Knicks in the news. Is this why they mentioned it? Maybe. So let's get to the decode a little bit. The Wizards, Houston Rockets, and San Antonio at the top four. So the Rockets, who are 41 and 41 this season, I'm not sure why they want to mention that, but I'll show you why it's interesting. Moved up 6 spots to get to the top three. Had the best chance to win the top pick at 41%. And the draft is June 26th and 27th in Brooklyn. And I'll show you why this is all interesting. 41 and 14. 14 is the reflection of 41, right? And I'm going to show you why this is interesting, because it's all interesting, really. So Atlanta Hawks equals 41, right? And the Rockets are 41 and 41 this year. They're just mentioning that. I'm not sure why. Well, now you know why. Um, so also, if you write out 3% odds, it equals 179. And 179 is a prime number, and it's the 41st prime. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Isn't that crazy? The 41st prime, and it was on a day with 41 numerology, the draft lottery, and the Atlanta Hawks equals 41, and it's going to be held in Brooklyn, which you probably know equals 41. Did I put that down there? I don't think I did. All right, my bad. So Brooklyn's the borough. Brooklyn. If you write out Brooklyn and spell it correctly, wow, I really didn't spell that correctly at all. Brooklyn, 41. See that? So that's why it's being held in Brooklyn. The Atlanta Hawks win. 49 years ago, the Hawks got the first pick in the draft and basically didn't get anything. Both players went to the ABA. Marvin Webster. They had 2 picks, actually. The number 1 pick, David Thompson 33. So let me just show you that, because you need to be shown these things. So Thompson, not 33, right? Hawks in the keypad. Sorry, Atlanta equals 33. Also, so Thompson, they were supposed to get him, and the numbers even said they were supposed to get him. Look at this, Thompson and Atlanta, 120, 69 and 96, and 48. They were supposed to get him, but he went to the ABA, right? The rival league, which had much flashier ball, right? Theater, tricolored ball. I don't know. I don't know what they called that. With the ABA ball. Let's look at that, shall we? ABA ball. Of course, Denver Nuggets, big NBA ABA team. So, American Basketball Association, 67 to 76. There are 11 teams, right? What is the gematria of American Basketball Association? Look at 118 there. Interesting. 206, 26 like the God number, and 557 is 102nd prime. Interesting. And let's look at the ball. EVA ball. Uh, what was it called? Ball name, maybe? I mean, it's a different ball. Original AVA basketball. The red, white, and blue. AVA Hall of Famers Julius Erving, Rick Barry, George Ice Gervin, Spencer Haywood, Dan Issel, George McGinnis, Louis Dampier, Larry Brown. A lot of great players, supposedly. 3-point contest, 3-point shot, slam dunk contest, and All Star game were all pioneered by the EBA. I guess they didn't really call it the red, white, and blue basketball. So we're on a tangent. Let's get back to this. The decode here. We're back just looking at the ball. So Atlanta and number one pick. Funny they should get the number one pick, right? And the coach at the time, or the person they had there, was Landry Fields. And Landry Fields has this gematria of 69 as well. Number one pick in Atlanta. How interesting. And number one pick, if you write it out, equals 33. Number one pick. And Atlanta in keypad cipher equals 33. Okay. And it equals 32 in reverse reduction. And Atlanta Hawks equals 32. Isn't that interesting? It's just a coincidence. And if you write out 3%, it equals 137. Of course, 137, the 33rd prime. NBA draft equals 33. Right? A draft. What is the definition of draft? Draft. Let's look. So it's a piece of text, a formal suggestion, or a drawing in its original state, often containing the name of a rough draft. So it's been interesting they call it a draft. Like these are players that aren't pros that are coming into the league. Draft is a process used in some countries and sports to allocate certain players to teams. In a draft, teams take turns selecting from a players. When a team selects a player, the team receives exclusive rights to sign that player to a contract, and no other team in the league may sign the player. So interesting. I never knew the definition. And it's good to know definition of words. Always good to know. So let's get back because we're NBA draft. So that equals 33. And Landry Fields, we already mentioned, but let's look at Landry Fields, shall we? Landry Addison Fields, born June 20th, day 2, 1988, American professional basketball player. He's a general manager of the Atlanta Hawks. He's general manager. We never looked at that. General GM, right? General. Oops. How did these guys get to be general managers anyway? You often wonder, is it by the numbers? Is it bloodline? Oops. General manager. So general manager, interesting. Like a theater type thing, like a sacrifice, like God, 257, the 55th prime. Interesting, general manager. All right. Anyway, it's back to Landry. I was about to say laundry. Landry Fields, from his last birthday to the lottery was 320 days, or it can be expressed as 32 because numerology, you just drop the zero and number one pick equals 32, right? And Atlanta Hawks, if I'm not mistaken, was also 32. Oops. Atlanta Hawks, 32 as well. It's also 131, the 32nd prime. So very interesting. Oop, what happened here? Oh, we didn't do this. We're on the wrong one. There we go. Anyway, Atlanta Hawks 32, also 36. They won 36 games this year. Interesting. Let's get back to this. And it was one day before his 36th birthday. So 627, a day with 33 numerology, right? Atlanta 33 and number one pick 33. And is the 179th day. This is the second day of the draft. 179, the 41st prime number. That's when the second day of the draft happens, right? Interesting. And the draft happens on a day with 32 numerology as well. Look at that. 6 plus 26, 32. Atlanta Hawks, 32. Number one pick, 32. Pretty fascinating. So the inception of the draft, David Thompson, but they couldn't get David Thompson. It happened on the 29th. And then I noticed this crazy thing. The NBA, no, where is it? The NFL draft. I don't know how I mistakenly looked at the NFL draft. 1975 NFL draft. Said the first pick. It was held on the 28th and the 29th in 1975. And the Atlanta Falcons had the first pick. I mean, really? In the same year, they had the same pick, and they got Steve Bartkowski. Interesting. He played for the Falcons. Same year. Isn't that crazy? Makes me wonder when was the last time the Falcons had the number one pick. Um, oops. When was the last time the Falcons had the number one pick? So Atlanta Falcons number one pick. They've selected number one 4 times. Tommy Nobis, Steve Bartkowski, Audrey Bruce, and Mike Vick. So interesting. Let's see if they. Here we go. Based in Atlanta. Da 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 da. Expansion for the '66 season. East U.S. Um, so the Super Bowl champion always picks 32nd. Huh? Number one pick equals 32. The Super Bowl. Um, so they had two picks. These selections were Tommy Nobis, linebacker from Texas, and Randy Johnson, a quarterback from Texas A&I. Four times they've selected number one: Tommy Nobis, Audrey, Andre Bruce, and Michael Vick. So Kowski in '75. Most recent number one pick was 1988, the year Laundry Fields was born, and Michael Vick in 2001. So 23 years ago, which is of 32, right? What is Atlanta Falcons? While we're on this tangent, Atlanta Falcons. What is that? 49 like draft. This is how you spell Falcons. Anyway, let's get back. Gonna get back. So the 179th day left in the year, 3% odds. Remember, equals 179. Very interesting. So Laundry Fields was drafted by the Knicks. In fact, he was can't even. Here he is. Remember, he's 35. He's going to be 36, and he was drafted by the Knicks. 1985, right? And then before that, it was 1975 for the Atlanta Hawks. So 85, 75. Interesting correlation here. So let's look at his NBA. Knicks, 39th overall pick. You seeing this? Is this scripted by the New York Knicks? And what in Gematria, what's New York? We all know. But New York is 39. See that? He was the 39th pick. New York had the 39th pick in that draft. But Landry, of course, he's got the 74 there. 32, Atlanta Hawks. Landry Fields got the 66. And then Fields got this God number. He's 35 right now. Interesting. Fields. What about the baseball team? Let's look at the baseball team for fun. Let's put up another tab. Why not? So Atlanta Braves, 1975. They were 67 and 94. Draft. All right, let's see what happened. Who they got in the draft? Are we right here? The Reds were in first. 1974 were winning the World Series. Let's see who they got in the draft. Um, Braves, 1975 baseball draft. What's going on here? They got Donald Young, whatever. See how many number 1 picks they had. Overall, he's number 18 in 75. 666. Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, Atlanta Brave. Number 1 draft picks. Here we go. Let's look here. Still streaming this. First round draft picks. Chipper Jones. Uh, since 1965, the Braves have selected 56 players in the first round. Huh. The reflection 27 have been pitchers. Um, so where's the number 1 pick? Number 1 picks for the Braves. I think Chipper was a number 1. Bob Horner, 1978, third base. 1978, and they had a number 1 pick. Chipper Jones, 1990, number 1 pick. And any other number 1 picks? Nothing really good. So it's pretty rare that you get a number 1 pick in baseball. And there are so many rounds too. Mm, yeah. So Chipper Jones was the last one. 1990, Atlanta had a number 1 pick. And I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I'm just exploring it. And I'm live, and I hope you're having a good evening here. It's late here in Vermont. It's 2:52 in the morning, and so interesting. Quite the tangent. And let's get back. I think we're done. So thanks everyone for checking out this live here. Just wanted to talk about the Atlanta Hawks, how they had the number 1 pick in the draft, and let's see who they're going to take. Atlanta Hawks, NBA number 1 pick. Let's say draft 2024. Oh, McCormick Place, that's where it happened in Chicago. McCormick Place Convention Center. Let's see what that equals just for fun while we're here. 3, 2, 1. 49. I don't see anything too special here. Did happen in Chicago, home of the Bulls. So make with it what you will. And they're going to draft. Who are they going to draft? Who are they drafting? Who will they pick? Google. Who should the so Alex Sarr, this guy Sarr, he's like 7'1", kind of rough from the Perth Wildcats. So Perth Wildcats had some interesting gematria, if I recall. Straight out of Perth. Perth Wildcats 193. Atlanta. Oops, if you spell it right. Hawks. Look at that. Atlanta Hawks and Perth Wildcats, both 193. Look at that. That's interesting. Both 76 too. What are the odds? So very interesting. Wildcats, Perth, West Coast City, right in Australia. And this guy, Alex Sarr. What's his gematria? Alex Sarr. Look at that, 35. We've seen a lot of 35 and 118. Interesting. I don't really see anything, but Sarr is a star. Sarr the star. Let's look up Mr. Sarr. Um, I mean, they might not pick him, but he's French. Played for the Perth Wildcats of the Australian National Basketball League. 19. He's from Bordeaux. 216 pounds, huh? 6'6". Isn't the Sarre a region in France? It's confused. I believe it is. I'm just going to share screen. Sarre. Oops. Can't type. Sarre region. Saarland. I guess it's in Germany or on the French border. Saarland. It's in Germany. Not a very good map. Saarland. See, Saarland, Luxembourg. Mhm. Okay, here's a good look. I'm not sure if you're seeing this, but France is right here. Alex Saar. So where was Saar in Europe? Germany. Saarbrücken. Back in 1935, they went back into Germany. 90%, more than 90% of the voters favored the immediate reintegration of the Saar into Germany. 1935. Was it Saar 35 or Alex Saar? Hmm, Saar. Oh, Saar's 33. Damn, look at that. Are we spelling his name right? I think we aren't. He played. Oh, right, here we go. He spells his name differently. Alex Saar, 35. And here they got uh, multiple A's. They got two A's. So land is different from Saar land. Anyway, April 26th. Let's get back to that. April lottery. So it's 16 days after his birthday. He just turned 19. And his next birthday, 349 days. Hmm. And to the draft, where we'll see this, 626, 61 days or 62. It'll be on the 62nd day of his age. Sar might be drafted number one, and it's on a day with 56 numerology. Sar is 56. It's amazing when it lines up like this. Sar is 56. I'm pretty dang sure of it. On a day with 56 numerology, he could be drafted number one. Huh, that's amazing, really. And I think he's from Bordeaux. Bordeaux. Bordeaux is where he's from. Look at that. SAR is 56. Flexion of 65. 137 to 33rd prime. Very interesting. And of course, France got that. Crazy. Alexander, his full name. Just check this out for fun. All for fun. We're streaming for fun. He is listening. Interesting. Theater. Full name. 74 and keypad. Damn. ADS. Alexander Damn Sar. You need a T in there and there'll be star. I don't know. I don't know. So he could be the new draft pick of the Atlanta Hawks. 2021, he moved to the United States. Oh my God, check this out, yo. Sarr moved to the United States to join the established Overtime Elite League in Atlanta. Atlanta. What are the odds? Securing him an alternative professional pathway with a guaranteed minimum salary of at least 100,000 per year to play basketball. Unbelievable, right? He played 2 seasons at Overtime Elite and Team Overtime. He earned all OTE honors. This guy. And in 21, I think the Hawks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm pretty freaking sure for the NBA draft. His father, Massar, is a former professional basketball player from Senegal. His older brother, Olivier, is player for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's a father-son league, right? Massar and Olivier, French. So team overtime. 221 present. Now, I'm interested. Hawks earned conference finals. When was the last time they were there? 2021. And this guy comes to Atlanta in 2021 and is going to be the draft pick. What are the odds? Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Maybe you're catching it later, but it was a good stream. And I think we learned a lot. Is this a coincidence? Is this just the way the numbers are, the organic matrix? I don't know. Anyway, it's Numerical Lion. I'm out. Talk to you guys later. And yeah, it's 3:07 in the morning. Whew.